Salutations, fellow travelers. Welcome to another episode of on AXIOM TV. I am your host, Jason B. Sareve, aka the Brave Mind, aka the King of the North, aka the Antichrist. Thinker salute to all you objective thinkers out there. Today's video will be dealing with the subject of communication, or more specifically, miscommunication. And throughout human history, ever since recorded history, and we can guess even before that, human beings have had an issue with communication. Off the top of my head, philosophers who made note of this include Leibniz, who formulated calculus as a more specific way for human beings to communicate, irregardless of language, whether it be foreign or domestic, with whatever your perspective, as well as Wittgenstein, who noted that human beings are engaging in word games when we communicate with each other. What I'd like to go specifically to today is what I've taken observation to, is that human beings seem to, especially in Western cult society, we seem to have this issue with listening. We seem to not want others to listen to us unless they are going to respond by confirming our biases. Now, let me give you an example of this. In fact, this whole video is just going to be an example of this. What I notice is no one really wants you to listen to them. They seem to only want you to pretend to listen to them. If you notice, our culture emphasizes this. Pardon me. Popular culture emphasizes this. We popularize husbands not listening to wives, as well as wives not listening to husbands. We romanticize children not listening to parents, as well as parents not listening to children. We even teach everyone the sounds to make to pretend as if we are paying attention, such as or yeah, or even going as far as to repeat the last sentence that someone was saying while we were listening to them. Even when we are in each other's faces, it's as if it's no different than when we're in a phone conversation and one of us puts down the phone till we think the other person is ready to either pause for a breath or is looking for a confirmation that we're listening to them. And that's when we will oblige them by saying or we will reiterate their last sentence back to them till it satisfies that person. Now, you know what I'm talking about, because it's likely that you're guilty of this. In fact, we all have been guilty of it. When pursuing objective thought, you have to be self-scrutinizing first. You have to give a self-evaluation and be self-analytical first. So what I did was, once I took notice of this and realized that I was also participating in this miscommunication between each other, I decided what I would do is reverse strategy. What I do now is I try my best to listen closely when someone is speaking, because I assume that they want to hear they want me to hear what they're saying, which is why they're speaking in my direction in the first place. Irregardless if they're insulting me or not, I pay attention. And what I notice is that people are constantly contradicting themselves. So I go out of my way to use their own, it seems I have to use their own words against them, because If you don't, then you'll realize that people are either wasting your time, which death is always on the horizon, so we don't have any time, a moment to spare or waste. Death is always looming. Grave illness, debilitating disease, that is always on the horizon. No one knows when their time is or when that could possibly strike them. Any malady, degenerative malady, can strike them at any time. So to think that we have the luxury of time is nonsensical. So I don't wish for anyone to waste my time. So what I do is, I notice since people are contradicting themselves when they speak, instead of allowing them just to waste my time, I will make sure that I make note of what they say. So in the future, if they ever contradict that, I bring it up to them. Now, and once put into practice, I found it funny that the people who were speaking would give me a surprised look, as if it was a bad thing, or as if they couldn't believe that I bothered to remember our previous conversation so well. They seemed to become visibly upset that I even dare respond with their own words when pointing out to them that they're contradicting themselves from a previous conversation. I noticed that this is even the case when someone's trying to insult you. For me, it's like my mind builds a whole psychological profile based off of a person's word choices. Now, the negative effect of that is it's cost me, what I noticed is that it's cost me many associations. And I mark it up to a consequence of being an objective thinker, I suppose. People want you to either, they want you to listen, but they want to make sure that you're listening. The reason why it seems that they want you to listen is to support or respond by giving them confirmation biases. They don't really want you to listen to the point where you're questioning them if they say something wrong or if they misspeak. I guess naturally no one likes to be wrong, or no one likes to be corrected, but this is really, if you're truly a person who's trying to think, you should welcome being wrong. In fact, our friend Adam Stuck made note the other day, known to you guys better as A-Mind, A.Mind. He made note the other day that it actually feels good. He finds pleasure in being wrong when he states something wrong and realizes it and can admit it. And I gave thought to that, and I realized that he's right. That there is a relieving feeling when you admit that you're wrong. And that, to me, comes from the pleasure that we find in learning. In fact, it's a part of learning. Now, I practice this technique even with family and friends. And like I said before, it's cost me a lot of associations. It turns out that your family and friends don't like being corrected, even when they're contradicting themselves. I have both groups seem to hate to have a conversation with me anymore, because they know eventually I will bring up their own words when they misspeak, and point it out to them that they had said something different previously. Now, I'd imagine initially you're going to say that you don't believe something like that, or find it hard to believe. But if you really give it a further thought, you will realize that you do believe it, because most likely you are one of these people, who are one of the people that function like this. I'm guilty of it, and in a way we all are. But it's only through being conscious and aware of it that you can fight this. Remember, free speech is a beautiful thing, but up to the point where it is being abused. Free speech should not be a free rein to be allowed to misspeak and constantly contradict ourselves and mislead people. That is the sinister aspect, the nefarious aspect of free speech that we should all be fighting against. Because since life seems to be about learning, since we have the ability to learn, one would think that our being human beings, what separates us from the rest of the other creatures on the planet is our ability to think. One would think that what our ambition should ultimately be is to pursue the highest form of learning, to pursue the ultimate knowledge of life. And that can't be achieved or accomplished by participating or being an active participant in the nefarious and degenerative side of free speech. We have to be on the positive and productive side of free speech. In any case, it is the negative response that I have received by trying to pursue the correct solutions aspect of free speech that brought me to the destination that people really do not want others to listen to them. They are satisfied if we merely perform the agreed upon gestures of merely pretending to listen to them. Thank you. Subscribe to our channel. If you're a thinker, an objective thinker, or desire to be an objective thinker, this is our channel, a channel that we all share. But if you're a biased person, stubborn person who insists on thinking autonomously and not utilizing this beautiful technology that nature has endowed us with called a mind, then you can skedaddle and keep it moving. This is not the channel for you. But if you are an objective thinker or desire to be, then thinker salute to you first off for having that thought or having that ambition, and subscribe to our channel, our shared channel, our mutually shared channel, and like it if you got some value, if you get value from the videos. Share it if you'd like others to get value from the video, or if you'd like them just to try to find a way to contradict our argument or debate our argument. Comment. We welcome civil discourse. All we ask is that you make it something meaningful so that you can add and not take away from the discussion, and as well as hit the notification icon, which would be the bell, to receive further notification of when new projects go up and are uploaded. Thank you.